Hey guys, my name is Neil Byers. I'm the owner of Horse Thief Hollow,
I'm Jake Nelson, head brewer.
and you are tuning into our first HTH Craft Society beer tasting, which will be featuring Cinnamon Girl, our Imperial Milk Stout, aged in bourbon barrels with cinnamon and vanilla added. What do you think, Jake?
So, yeah, I'm really excited about this beer because this is the first time we've had it out in 2 years.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
I know our fans have been anticipating this for a while. So,
Yeah. Cinnamon Girl started in, I think it was 2014, 2015 maybe. We had a bourbon barrel aged stout, and we had decided to add some cinnamon vanilla to it. Turned out great, and we've been working on it for the last few years. Like Jake said, there was a lapse in the production last year, but it's back. It's tasting phenomenal. You did a great job.
thank you.
So let's get into it.
Yeah. Want to pop her open?
Yeah. Me too.
Do it up.
All right. Pressure's on here. So how long did Cinnamon Girl age for?
So we did 8 months. It was Basil Hayden's bourbon barrels, which I never used, but it's a bourbon that I've enjoyed, and I kind of trying to, we've got some tried and true barrels, and it's nice to experiment with barrels that are new to me and new to us as a company. So, yeah, it came out well. It's let's go ahead and give it a
go.
whirl here, and
It's got good head on it. Eh?
for sure. So the aging really put in a good charred oak on it. A lot of vanilla from the oak too.
Yeah.
So I think when we first pour it, definitely get cinnamon up front. That char and oak for sure. What do you think?
Yeah, for sure. What's cool about this beer is that when we do beers that have flavors added to it, we try not to take things too far to push it out of the bounds. We want you to know that you're having a beer first, and try to marry these flavors in like a little perfect manner. So Jake kind of nailed it with, you got that cinnamon, you got that vanilla. The sweetness isn't too over the top. It's not too sticky. It's not too boozy. It's just like really smooth all in between.
And that's one of the challenges with doing bourbon barrel aged beers. Like we want a good base beer coming out of the barrels, and all the flavoring took place after the barrel aging. So, you like Neil said, you got to strike that balance of, showcasing the base beer, the good stout, showcasing the barrel, while also incorporating the cinnamon and the vanilla. So it's a big balancing act with a beer like this. So yeah, it was fun to do, and fun for me to figure out how to, make all these flavors blend together. And
Yeah.
I guess I can just talk a little bit about how we did that. So we emptied the barrels, blended them all together. Of course, they'll also have to pass sensory before we go ahead, and because one bad barrel can ruin the whole batch.
Yeah. It is interesting how each barrel has a different characteristic. So you would think that you got 4 barrels from Basil Hazen, they're all going to come out the same.
Yeah.
Same beers going in there, they all come out the same, and then somehow when you go evaluate these, they all are nuanced in different ways.
Definitely, they all express some different characteristics. So it was cool. The beer really is a sum of all the parts of the barrels and everything. So yeah, we emptied the barrels and we aged it on. The vanilla was probably another 2 weeks that it sat on the vanilla, and then the cinnamon edition was last. So, and that was an interesting thing for me to do because I learned more about cinnamon than I had thought I needed to know before. So there's two main types of cinnamon generally is Ceylon and Cassia. And they express different flavors. So what we ended up doing was getting a good blend of both types of cinnamon. Which,
what was the one that tasted like what the public perceives as like big red cinnamon? What was that called?
so at least I thought the Ceylon cinnamon expressed really as big red to me, which was odd because like that's in my mind what I think of as like an artificial cinnamon flavor.
Okay.
But that's regarded as the true cinnamon. It's more expensive. So that's why cassia cinnamon is what we recognize as Americans as, like, at least for me, and what cinnamon tastes like and smells like. So cassia is more popular because it's cheaper, it's more accessible, but it's got that classic cinnamon flavor, closer to like Cinnamon Toast Crunch,
Okay.
if you will, than
Sorry about that, guys. We've been having a little technical difficulties. I'm not so good with computers and things. So, we were talking about cinnamon and the two different kinds and how we imparted those into the beer.
So yeah, we had a blend of cassia cinnamon, which is our, like I said, I think the more what I know is like a classic cinnamon flavor. With the Ceylon cinnamon was a lot more. It had this floral aspect too. It's just like more delicate. So we ended up using, I'd say probably 70% Ceylon and 30% cassia, and that 30% cassia ended up, I would guess, being like a 50-50 blend as far as intensity of flavors and stuff. So yeah, it was.
So that's why you have all that complexity of cinnamon. It's not like one dimensional.
Definitely.
It's layered. It's like layered like a cake.
For sure.
It's really,
And I, as me being the brewer, and I can get my own ideas on what I think it tastes like, but I really needed Neil to help me evaluate the flavor. We worked together on the blending process and the flavoring process, because you really can't. I mean, you can, but it's always best to have a couple palates, tasting the beer, a couple eyes,
I mean, you have such a sophisticated palate, and then I think like maybe I'll come in with more of a reasonably educated consumer palate, and then we just try to like balance the two together and then see.
So, yeah, that was cool, and it was educational for me. Like I said, I didn't even know that much about cinnamon, and I was happy it turned out the way it did, and we ended up doing both varieties, and I think you can really tell in the aroma that you've got more than, like you said, it's not a one-dimensional cinnamon flavor.
So what about the mid-range and the finish on this beer?
Yeah, for sure. That's one thing I want to mention is serving temperature. So I like to let the bottle sit out for maybe 15, 20 minutes before I go ahead and open it. You can pour it in your glass right away if you want. I like to have some sort of. I like to let it warm in the glass because you can see these flavors developing. Yeah. So
actually, I would. Not that I would encourage, but what would be cool is if you took this beer from refrigerator at 38 degrees, poured it into a glass, and then tasted it right there. And it's like, it's two-dimensional. There's like just a couple of notes that you pick up. And then let that beer progressively warm up and evaluate it. And then at like 60-something degrees, it explodes. There's just like this overwhelming amount of flavors going on, and like just the richness and the depth and everything is really powerful.
For sure. And I think... So as this beer has been warming up in my glass here, I think that's really when the vanilla shows itself. I think it's a good, like, to me, it's very marshmallowy, and I love it. But that's one of the flavors that you kind of need to let open up as it warms.
Is that where you think we're at now? What temperature?
Yeah, for sure. I think, once you get around the 50s, I'd say 55 would be a good target serving temp, but like, we're not sticking a thermometer in the
put a thermometer in the beer.
Like that.
Sometimes you just gotta drink the beer and enjoy it.
But yeah, let's taste it. So I definitely get the cinnamon up front.
Yeah.
With,
you said that marshmallow, like that's spot on for sure. It almost tastes like a roasted, like a fire roasted sticky marshmallow.
Yeah.
It's got that body to it and
definitely. So yeah, like I definitely the marshmallow. To me, the cinnamon leads into chocolate and roast. Some coffee there.
Yeah. And how's the bourbon playing with all this? Like, where do you think that's at in the dance?
To me, that's like I guess right in the middle. You're getting some heat, you know.
Yeah.
And I like that because this is a sweet beer, but the heat also helps balance it out, you know, so it's not too sticky and yeah.
That's good beer.
Chocolate roast, and again, kind of similar the way it follows on the aroma. You get the marshmallow. I get the marshmallow towards the end.
Do you have any recommendations on cellaring this beer, or how long it'd be good for?
Well, I like to let people kind of do what they want with the beer. They bought it; it's their thing. But to me, it's like we put it in the bottle. It's ready to drink. Like I want people tasting it now, and my recommendation is drinking it now. If you want to cellar it for, you know, it'll hold up for a couple of years, and you know, I would guess that the marshmallow is probably gonna end up popping a little bit more as it gets old. So we're gonna do some aging ourselves here and see how it goes. But I always recommend with any beer, it's like drink fresh because, like I said, we made it, we put it in the bottle.
Yeah,
and
it's ready to go.
Yeah, it's definitely.
My recommendation is you buy a case, and then every 2 months you buy or open a bottle, and then see how they progress from there.
But sometimes you get a bourbon barrel stout, and it's really hot, and aging will kind of temper the heat on a bourbon barrel stout. I don't think this shows off too hot. It's definitely got some heat, but that's what I like on
you know it's there, but it's not hot by any means.
It's not hot, that's for sure. So, yeah, drink now or hold on to it. But
it was interesting that one that I poured earlier has got like the chocolate came through more forward than it had for me.
And that's the fun of like this is a sipper for sure. Like
it is a sip.
Sip on it, enjoy it, and I think it's good for. You know, I prefer bourbon barrel stout like after dinner. You know, it'll pair great with, you know, like we said, like some roasted meats and stuff. But like for me, a beer like this is a dessert in itself.
Yeah. We wanted to provide in all these videos. We want to provide tasting notes and pairing notes and things like that. And we kind of been discussing how we could pair this beer, or what we could pair it with. But it's really a standalone beer, and I don't think you need to look too far into it or make it too complex. I mean, you could pour it over cereal, pour it over some Cinnamon Toast Crunch if you want, but like that would be my recommendation. Otherwise, just drink it out of the glass and go for it.
So what about the name and the history?
Cinnamon Girl.
Did you want to?
Yeah.
Talk about that.
It's kind of a little known story, but in the brewing world, you have to name your tanks. So usually it'd be Bright Tank 1 or Fermentation Tank 1 and so on and so forth. We decided a long time ago to name our tanks after blues musicians. So our brew house is named Coco Taylor. We got Pine Top Perkins, Muddy Waters, Buddy Guy back there. And then in the continuation of that, we decided to start naming beers after some of our favorite songs. And so Cinnamon Girl is a Neil Young song. It harkens back to our trips to Canada that we'll take, listening to Neil Young on the drive up. And it's just the perfect little ode to a great musician and songwriter, Neil Young. So, you know, this beer certainly does the name justice, for sure.
And Neil Young, he's one of my favorites, so I love it.
That's cool.
And it's also just, I don't think you could have picked a better name for the beer, because it's almost like the beer's our baby,
Mm-hmm.
you know. So it's our Cinnamon Girl.
Yeah, for sure.
So nice job on that.
Yeah, cheers, bud. All right, so that's the breakdown of Cinnamon Girl, and we should probably start getting into what next month's beer is going to be. And sorry for the delay on all this, holidays and everything. We're kind of busy around here, so we intend to release these videos when we release the next beer in a more timely manner, and we will do so accordingly. So January's beer, Disco Infiltrator.
Disco Infiltrator. So we're doing a hazy pale. You know,
Okay.
I've been messing around with some different hop combinations, and because you know I love Spoonful, and I think most people love Spoonful,
Yep.
and I think it's nice to have a complementary, a little bit lower alcohol beer. You know, I think we did one. Spacing on the name, we did one over the summer. That
Okay.
was, you know, I think.
Jake's been brewing his ass off, so he's he's got so many beers under his belt now. Oh, and congratulations on the awards this year.
Thank you.
Publicly, greatest brewer in Chicago. Bronze medal on Little Wing, gold medal on Renly Rose. Yeah, you're killing it.
We had a good year last year, and I was
Yeah.
really happy to be here and be a part of that.
Yeah, well done.
You know, continue Dave's legacy here and everything. So yeah, I remembered it. It's called Clever Ruse. That
Clever
was our
Ruse,
last
yeah.
hazy pale. But the idea is to have it be, I guess, a little bit more refreshing, if it's possible. Like I think Spoonful is awesome.
Yeah,
And
super juicy and
yeah.
nice. Yeah,
but we're gonna do it's gonna be a lighter, hazy, more refreshing.
so this is
Lower
purely
alcohol.
experimentational. Like,
Yeah, I picked some, and with every hazy that we've done, I picked some new hops that I've been wanting to try out. We went more out of the box on the first two hazy pale ales. This one's going to be reined in a little bit more of these traditional flavors, so people can definitely they won't be thrown off too much by it, but it's still going to be good and complex and noticeably different from Spoonful. So that's coming along well, and I'm excited to put that out, and we're going to get that in the cans and have that for our January beer of the month.
it's awesome.
So I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, me too. Yeah, we'll have a special guest for you guys next month, and we'll do a breakdown, have some fun, drink some beer, and just keep on moving forward. So I appreciate the support, and it's great to be a part of this community, and you guys tasting all of our beers and having some fun with it. Jake, great job,
Thank you.
as always. Got any last words to say? Or
I just want to thank everyone for being a part of this, because it's we've always had such a great community
Yep.
support, community aspect of our business, and in a year like 2020, it was it really came through for us. So to have you guys with us again in 2021, and it means a lot to me and everyone here. So definitely want to thank you all for that.
For sure. Well, cheers, everyone. Cheers, Jake.
Cheers.
Well done.
Cheers.
We'll talk to you next time. Thanks a lot.